All right, guys, we are back at it, man. So the Trump administration has officially abandoned Ukraine. Check this out, man. So the New York Post is reporting that the Trump administration diverted 20,000 anti-drone missiles to Ukraine, and they're sending them to U.S. troops in the Middle East. So Zelensky's saying that the Trump is diverting 20,000 anti-drone missiles. These drone missiles, guys, these anti-drone missiles were used to combat the Iranian-designed Shahed drones that Russia's using to conduct massive bombardment campaigns in Ukraine, all over Ukraine, guys. And unfortunately, they're slashing that. So Ukraine is defenseless in regards to the Shahed drones. And it looks like he's redirecting his attention to the Middle East, which makes sense, guys, because, he took all this money from Adelson. He took this money from the Gulf Arabs. He's taking all these money from these people. And when it comes to war, you got to pay to play. And Ukraine was just becoming a huge bill for Trump, and Trump's like, nope, we're not supporting that. We're here with whoever pays Trump. He pretty much how he conducts his foreign policy. Fucking idiot, right? So whoever's giving him the most money, that becomes his new foreign policy. Okay, we're getting $1 trillion from these people, $1 billion from these people. It seems like, okay, let's start the war in the middle. So this guy's a clown, guys, obviously, because now you're going to have a situation where hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian troops are going to unfortunately die because unless they give up, they give up power in that, and they give up the country to Russia. And so this kind of, again, this kind of questions like Trump's motive with this move. So does that mean he's going to spark up a war in the Middle East? Like, is that what the next move is? Because the nuclear talks have stalled, right? We haven't heard of any developments with the nuclear talks. It's so far, Iran pretty much told Trump, like, hey, this is a right for us to enrich uranium for energy purposes. So we're not going to get rid of our nuclear facilities. So you could take that off the table. And so that's a red line for Israel, right? And Israel is is threatening to act alone now, right? Which would endanger U.S. troops all over the region and endanger Israel as a state, because you got to think, like, Iran's not Iraq, right? It's 3 times the size, and it's probably 5 times more powerful than what Iraq was in 2003, even probably more, like, and they're very sophisticated. So you're talking about a very large, egregious war that'll erupt, in which the Americans will get dragged into. So this is an interesting development here. And this is all to maintain the Netanyahu regime, because you got to understand, in order for these people to maintain power, they need to have a major conflict of this sort in order to declare like martial law or their form of that in Israel, to where, like, he can't necessarily, because he's getting ready to get voted out if this continues. And so time is not in his hands, him and his administration here, his regime of terrorists. It's not in their hands, right? So essentially, they need to spark something up. That's why they keep airstriking different, regions around the vicinity of Israel, like Lebanon, these places, to spark up a major conflict, whether it be there or Iran in that case. So interesting developments, guys. Interesting developments here, man. Unfortunately for Ukraine, it looks like a done deal. Trump was not able to secure a ceasefire. And, essentially, I think he's going to start tapering off support for Ukraine. And it's just going to be, he's going to redirect his focus on the Middle East, to combat even a bigger threat, which is China. We're not even getting into that yet. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this report here.